r/askreddit. How did your high school crush turn out as an adult?
Became a professional cheerleader, died of breast cancer at 34. Googling names from high school is crazy.
My crush became an NFL cheerleader, still alive though, and no, we never dated and she didn't remember me at the class reunion.
I don't know about you guys, but I had way too many crushes in high school.
His friend murdered him over a girl.
I had a childhood friend, he and I both the same name, so we called each other by first name, last name, initial, who got killed in a similar situation. He was only 24. It was effing senseless, and the kid who killed him is going away for a long time. Was it worth it, buddy? My wife's former crush randomly messaged her on Facebook one day. She fucked him on day 2. She's now my ex-wife. She's jobless living with his mom, and I have the kids.
Dude, that sucks and I'm sorry. Your kids are definitely better off with you. Hope all works out for you and your kids. My high school ex randomly sent me a text years after we split up that went, "I know you don't like metal, but I thought you'd like this," and a link to a clarinet cover of a metal song. I played in Hedge. Little did he know that I hated playing clarinet and I was now a total metal head.
Ah, the circle of life. Hedge fund manager with a trophy wife.
Does he own the Mets? My only girlfriend in high school was my crush. Her mom banned her from dating me after about a year because my girlfriend admitted to her mom that we were fooling around. This was about 20 years ago. She's still living with her mom, no kids, and as far as I know, never again dated seriously after her mom broke us up. Still has the same job from high school, too. It's like her mom went way into protective overdrive and my former girlfriend never grew up.
It's weird how moms control their daughters like that. The first love of my life broke up with me by phone because her mom never met me. Said she should be single in college. She literally said my mom doesn't think I should date you anymore. She said I need to be single in college. And then hung up. I briefly worked with mine and didn't realize it was her until I left for another job. She looked almost unrecognizable, but it was 15 years after I last saw her. She's married with a couple of kids now, so pretty standard life, I guess.
I had a similar experience. I got a new job and was in the office for the first time after maybe a week or so of working there. And after talking to this woman for like 20 minutes, she was like, "Here are you." Well, it's literally my full name. And I was like, "Should I confirm?" Yep. And then it dawned on me who she was, with completely different hair and obviously a few feet taller. We caught up a call that, and I did basically no work that day, but it was fine because she was a superior, so I guess it was her time as much as it was her time as much as it was mine. Making me wonder what I ever saw in them.
Being young and horny really changes perspectives at the time. Still hot after.
You just made me remember how I feel when I have crushes. Thanks for the memories. You made me check, and she is actually a very successful artist and an art teacher at a renowned university in France. She even got decorated for her work, Chevalier des Arts et des Lettres.
Dang, this award in France is kind of a big deal when you're an artist.
Probably even a big deal if you aren't.
Overdosed and died last year. I got to see him before he was taken off life support with a really good mutual friend we shared, organ donor too. It was surreal seeing him dwarfed by all these machines. He had one of the largest hearts I've ever come across.
Legit question. Can they donate their organs if they overdose?
Simple and short answer. Yes, it's better than a failing organ, and there's always a shortage. It took me by surprise at first because I thought it was an automatic disqualifier.
Still super hot. She married some loser and has a few kids with him. That loser was me. Just celebrated 22 years of marriage.
You're not a loser if you bagged a hottie like her. She just has poor taste in men. Your wife and mine both married lucky guys.
Honestly, I think men undervalue the safety, security, and trust of just being caring people who value their spouses, even if you think she could do better. I think you're looking at a bunch of examples of people who outwardly might appear to have their crap together, or more money, etc., but it all sucks and is a facade. And those people use that stuff as compensation for actual relationship, investment, and time. Don't undersell your value even if it looks different from the rest.
Still a 10 for looks. I'm sure she kept on as the amazing, kind person she is. She moved to another country, speaks multiple languages, and is more successful than I imagined. She seems happy, but we haven't talked since the time I told her how I felt about her about 20 years ago.
Did we have the same school crush?
I don't think so. My crush was your mom.
Went on to be a teenaged model for hair products, graduated from Yale, toured Europe, opened her own successful ceramics company that is sold worldwide and is often written up in magazines. Makes me feel like crap every time I think of her.
Was it really a crush if it doesn't make you feel like shit?
Well, if your crush turned out to be a terrible person, you could comfort yourself by saying that you dodged a bullet there.
Hot douche, who doesn't really do much except go to the gym. To be fair, that's how he was in high school. I just liked it back then.
If you always wanted to date Chip Matthews from high school, you're going to end up on a date with Chip Matthews from high school. I was a freshman and had a crush on a senior. To add to it, she was a cheerleader and her brother played cube for the football team and got a college scholarship. She showed up at a football game a couple of years later with a baby in tow. She's married now and back in her hometown. That's about all I know.
She ended up getting knocked up by a freshman shortly after we graduated. A college freshman or a high school freshman? D. High school.
My first high school crush who sat next to me in freshman year English was a really cute punk rock girl, and she's gone on to become an incredibly hot fitness model. Jackie was a rich punk rocker, a silver spoon on a paper plate.
Pretty good. Seems to have her life together, although she had a few setbacks. She's gone back to uni since job prospects in her field kinda sucked, but seems to be really enjoying it. She's dating me, though, so clearly her judgment sucks. Good for you, mate. Had me fooled at first, though lol.
One I don't keep track of at all. I'm not sure what she's up to. The other I married. She turned out awesome. Blink twice if you are being held hostage. She'll hear you.
She's still hot, successful, and wealthy entrepreneur, and married someone with the same first name as me, and who quit his job to brew beer. I crushed on her for a bit, didn't think she was interested, so I dated others, then come to find out she crushed on me senior year. I was too dumb and blind. We connected freshman year of college. She wrote me letters, and by the time I wised up, she had moved on. No one to blame but myself. What if you built a time machine and went back in time, then changed your last name?
Found her on Tinder. She said I was hot. Pointed out that I was that loser she used to know in high school. Had a big laugh. Been a little over a year now. We send each other memes and hang out occasionally when the pandemic isn't being a bitch. So, you're saying there's a chance?
Only if you roll a 20.
Going to an all-boys school sucks for having realistic crushes. However, ran into one of the teachers years later and she still looked bellissima. I went to an all-girls school. Crushes were desperate and far between.
Ended up committing suicide a few years after high school. She was a teacher and got caught having an affair with a female student. Well, this is dark.
Mine was my best friend. She turned out to be a pedophile. She always liked younger guys. Like when she was 17, she had a 13-year-old boyfriend, which was weird. But we were kids and I didn't think about it much. Turns out, she continued to like younger teens as she grew into her 20s and 30s. Whoa!
Just checking in to confirm that I was no one's high school crush. Carry on. I don't think I ever was either.
An insanely talented molecular biology researcher at Boston, and she's still insanely attractive. Considering Boston is a hub for life sciences and that most researchers in the field start out with Molbio, saying molecular biology researcher at Boston is essentially the same as programmer in Bay Area.
I was about to say the same. Like I grew up in Mao and I know dozens of molecular biologists in Boston, LOL. The number of startup pharma companies out there is insane.
My friend's high school crush was Tom Holland. Like they went to the same school. Funny that their high school crush is best known now for playing a high schooler.
She passed away our senior year, 6 months after she agreed to marry me after we graduated. You okay? Oh yeah, that was over 20 years ago. I've married and have kids now. I still get a little choked up when I hear If You Could Only See by Tonic, though, since that was our song. I really appreciate you checking in concerning my well-being, though.